Hello and welcome to Nintendo Nostalgia, Episode 6. I'm Jacob Press, and I'm joined by my co-host, Ryan Black, and we're back and we're playing with power. If you're new to the show, our goal is to help you to remember the good old days you had with your past experience with Nintendo. We hope our stories help you to remember the good times with your friends and family playing with the big N. Ryan, welcome back. You survived. You survived Black Friday.
Yes, and boy, what a Black Friday it was.
Yeah. Yes, it was. I don't normally go out on Black Friday, but I did go out this year. But I didn't go right at the start. I kind of you want to go check it out? Becca and we went with my sister and we went to a Target and there was a lot of people there, but it wasn't like crazy. I mean, it was a lot, but it wasn't crazy. So my only disappointment was not finding anything I wanted. So, but you tell the folks here you work at GameStop, so you experienced a lot of different little things, didn't you?
Yeah, because I work at a game store, and not just a game store, but in the mall. It was very interesting. It was a little crazier this year, but it was also like we didn't get the initial rush. Like my manager handed out numbers to people who were waiting in line outside. So and they marked down what number, who wanted what. So those people got what they needed. They came in, they got what they needed, they left, and then that was it. Like there was no huge rush, like everyone trampling each other as soon as the gates opened. And that was a pretty smart move by my manager. And so we just we kind of rode that first wave. It went really fast, and then after that, it wasn't until about maybe 9 or 10 when the people started just gushing in like crazy. It was intense. I think at one point in time, there was this lady that ripped down a PlayStation 4 controller off the wall. It was locked onto the wall. She ripped it down and shoved it in her bag and walked out. And I tried to stop her or hinder her progress out of the store. Hopefully the camera would catch her. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. Just
wow.
People do crazy things just to get stuff.
I mean, who does that? Who does that? Who thinks about? I couldn't have I don't have the conscience to go into a store and just know I'm going to just steal something, rip it right off the wall and leave without having any issue.
I mean, it's and they had a friend there with them. It's what? They got tired of waiting in line. So you know what? I'm just going to take what I want. And why would you do that?
Were there any more thefts besides that?
Not that anything that was caught or anything like that. No, I don't think there was anyway. So yeah, it was a pretty crazy holiday. No one got trampled, thank goodness, for at least in my neck of the woods. So
yeah,
that was good.
Any angry customers? No,
not at all. Nope, it went pretty smoothly. Everybody was pretty cool. They knew if they heard we didn't have anything, oh man, that stinks. And it was everybody in this mall is pretty nice. Just outwardly, and just they're really friendly. That's why I like working there, because it's not like other GameStops that I worked at. They were just people were downright rude, and it was not just one person.
You're going to get that kind of business, but I'm glad you didn't have to have any of those issues like that on Black Friday, especially since you didn't go in Thanksgiving night, did you, or did you?
No, not at all. No, I was there at 5:30 in the morning, and then I worked till noonish. Then I was off, and then I had to come back at 5 and work till midnight or 11 or whatever. So,
okay, that's not terrible. No, not at all. But it is what it is. I'm glad I don't have to work in that kind of atmosphere. I had the day off, 4-day weekend, but
lucky dog.
Yeah. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was pretty good. My in-laws came to town and threw us a little Thanksgiving for lunch, and then we went over to my my aunts for my side of the family and had Thanksgiving there. So it was pretty good.
Good.
What'd you end up doing?
We hosted my family at our house since we have a new house this year, and so we made the turkey and some other foods, and everyone else brought something, and it turned out really well. And Becca nailed it on the turkey. I mean, it was perfect. It was like something you see in the movies. Perfect. But and then Saturday we went down to her parents and spent the whole day there. So 2 Thanksgivings, 2 separate days. Now tomorrow or Thursday is going to suck this week just because like I'm somebody like I always remember. I know what I'll be doing. I'll be at work and dreading it and working in the warehouse early in the morning. And I'll be thinking this time last week, you know, I was sleeping in and next to the warm fireplace and the family was just getting ready to come over. And it's always the worst, especially after the week after Christmas or your birthday or something. You'd be like, a week ago I was doing this. And I was just opening up my sweet gifts. Now I'm back at work. Not playing with my sweet gifts. So I hate the week after something, but life goes on. We'll have more Christmases. But no, I think I'm most frustrated though, Ryan. I'm very frustrated still. One, because I'm to the point, I don't think the Nes Classic exists. I really don't. I think it's all a hoax. I think it's just a big joke. These things are fake that people are making these videos of because I have not seen one. I have not seen one on a shelf. I have not seen one being advertised. I have not seen a box. I have not seen one in person. I have been to tons of stores. I was at a store today. I was at a Walmart today. And like everything is packed out. All these Skylander boxes, Wii U boxes, Xbox, PlayStation, all this stuff is decked out. The games are overflowing. But when I go look for what I want, there's a little sticker that says Nes Classic, and it's an empty section of the shelf. Empty. There's nothing there. So then I got so fed up with it, I told Becca, because I mean, I'm not going to go shop for my own gift. I'm trying to get this for my brother, as we've talked about before. So I told Becca last week, I was like, I don't want you to have to go through this wild goose chase, because she's getting pretty frustrated too about trying to find it, couldn't find it. I was like, why don't we just take that off the list and, I could get it later. And I said, but let's get the new 3DS because they have that deal going on instead. I'll switch it out for that, the $100 deal. So, and then Becca was like, don't worry about it, But then I found out she was going to surprise me. So we kept the NES Mini on the list, the NES Classic. But she was going to go ahead, still try to get me the NES Classic and get me a new 3DS because I just have the old 3DS. And the reason I found this out was because, well, she got very ticked off on the day after Black Friday, the night after, because these were sold out everywhere. The new 3DS, the $100 deal, is gone everywhere. You can't find it anywhere. She's checked with multiple stores, and she was I guess eyeing this. And what really made her mad was, it's supposed to come out Black Friday, but like Target, Walmart, Best Buy, all of those shops released them at midnight on Thanksgiving Day. So going into Thanksgiving, and she wasn't informed of this because they were a Black Friday deal, but they released them midnight before Thanksgiving even happened. So they're all gone. And then Walmart said they kept getting shipments in. So she found one online, and she placed an order, and they said there were 6 available, and it processed, went through, said congratulations, whatever. Or process has been ordered, or your order is being processed, and then like 3 hours later, she gets an email back saying we canceled your order because we ran out.
Oh,
and it just makes her mad, and it makes me mad because I'm like, I want to help her, try to find deals for this because I really want it. But at the same time, it's my Christmas gift, and if you know me, I don't want to see that I have it. I really wish she told me that because she was so mad, she just ended up telling me what she was trying to get me and to vent, and I was like, man. So then I was trying to help her out and send her like, oh, here, Walmart's doing this or Walmart's doing that. And then she told me that she actually got it because I sent her a link or something. And like, oh, you can get there's one left. Go ahead and order it. And she's like, I already ordered you one. And then that's when before everything got sent back and canceled. But it's just frustrating. I mean, come on. Even in the stores today, like I only see like one or two 3DSs, one 2DS. That's all I saw at that Walmart today, and everything else is packed full. I don't get it. You would think Nintendo is a brand new company. They're like Niantic and Pokemon Go. They're miscalculating everything and doing a terrible job at releasing stuff. And gosh, like I love Nintendo, but they're making it so frustrating right now.
It's not just like the 3DS, or the 2DS is like sold out in so many places. Like I did an area search for a 2DS and not a single one was in the area. Like greater, like Indianapolis and even outskirts and stuff, like not a single 2DS even. And I don't know if it's like Pokemon Sun and Moon that's driving these sales,
has to be
plus Christmas, plus Black Friday deals or what, but my goodness, that's just crazy that they're just gone. And I let me put your worries to rest. I have seen an NES Classic in the wild.
Oh.
I have seen it, and I actually got to hold it. Now, I didn't have the money for it, of course, but it was already kind of spoken for, so I couldn't do anything with it, but I got to see it. And so it does exist. Now, I can't tell you the controllers exist because I haven't seen those in the wild, and I think they're even more scarce than this is worse than a shiny Pokemon.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's good to know. I guess you would know since you work at a GameStop. So yeah, that's my little rant. I mean, I know Christmas is only 4 weeks away, a little shy than that, less than that, but I don't know. And it's not about all the gifts. I know that, but I don't know. My whole life, I guess I put it on the list. And my mom was somebody who went out and stood in line at a Target way early before church and got a ticket to get me a Wii for Christmas.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I trust Becca. There's still time, plenty of time. I'm not worried per se. I'm just frustrated.
Hey man, at least it's not like the Switch launch and you can't find the systems. Knock on wood, because like,
yeah, that better not be the case.
Because that would be devastating for every Nintendo fan. I think it's just
they better let us pre-order it. That's what they better do.
Yes, I know. We'll know in January. We'll probably be able to pre-order it through GameStop or whatever avenue. But
6 weeks away. That's it. And I didn't realize that till earlier today, man. 6 weeks away, and we're going to see the big reveal. I mean, we know what it is, but this is like the detailed, long, in-depth reveal. I mean, this is huge, and I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. Does it bother you that Breath of the Wild's been pushed back? Or at least rumors make it sound like.
I was really like, the hashtag devastation thing. And I was like, no, they can't do this to us. But then, I heard these rumors about like, even if it's delayed, they'd probably release a demo that you could actually play. You know what? I'd be cool with the demo to be able to get my hands on just a small portion of it. Now, there's the risk of, people hacking the code and finding out everything about the game and spoilers and whatnot.
Idiots out there like that.
I just want to play a demo of it. I want to experience this game that keeps being like dangled in front of us like a carrot. Like, hey, it's coming. Oh, gotta wait a little longer.
like that Geico commercial.
It's like, I kind of know how Epona feels like with the carrots and everything.
It's like that Geico commercial with that old man with the fishing rod and the dollar. Have you seen that one? The girl's like,
I have not. No.
Geico's always about saving money, and then Oh, maybe it's State Farm. I don't remember. I think it's Geico. But he's like hangling $1 down, and the girl's like trying to jump up and get it so she can buy a new purse because her friend just bought a bunch of new clothes or whatever because she saved money by switching to Geico. That's what it was. That's what it's like. But I'm fine with it. As long as we have to have a full-fledged Mario game at launch.
Yeah,
That's the case.
If they don't have Zelda or Mario, like, no way.
Well, I mean, we'll get it no matter what, but a lot of people are going to be very
no way am I going to be happy about it.
Oh, yeah, I'll be upset about it. I've decided if this is the way it falls, I'm going to get Mario at Switch or at launch. I'm probably going to get the Splatoon bundle, the pack-in, if all these rumors are true. These are the rumors that we've heard. And Skyrim is supposed to be a launch game. I think I'll get those 3 games. I don't really play immature games, but Skyrim doesn't look that bad. I've seen people play it. I've heard about it, and it's something I've always wanted to try out. So I'll try it out, get it. But I'm hoping, because Becca's about to go back to work after being on maternity leave so long. We're looking, hopefully financial things can change around here because we really want to get to the point where, because I'm in college, online. We want to get to the point where I can just stay at home, watch our daughter, and be a full-time student and increase because I only take 1 class at a time, take 2 classes at a time, be a full-time student, stay-at-home dad, and I can stop my job. That's what we're working towards.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, if the timetable, if everything works out right, hopefully by next summer that's the case. And I told Becca, usually I'll wait for like my birthday or Christmas to get a big game like that. But if the rumors are true and Zelda comes out in June, I will be more than fine to get that game because if we reach our goals, I'll be like, I'll have plenty of time to play that game, which will be exciting because I haven't had that in a long time to where like I just had a galore of free time. Not that I'm not going to neglect schoolwork or my daughter. No, that's not the case. But you know what I mean. I'm not going to be at a job all day long. I'll be at home, and if the baby is asleep, I've got my schoolwork done. Oh, let's play Zelda for a couple hours,
Oh, man, the roles are going to be reversed here. Usually, like, I'd get through games, and then you'd get them, and then you'd play them, but you didn't have as much time to do it, and so I'd, like, be helping you out through stuff. I think you're going to be helping me out.
Probably. It's a big game, man, so I'm sure we'll help each other out, find things we didn't know about, but so that's what I'm hoping. I'm excited. Everyone's freaking out about this Rabbids rumor too.
I hope it's if it exists, I hope it's fun.
It sounds like it exists. I'm feeling pretty positive about it.
And if they're the villains, cool. I understand that. Like, but I hear that you can also have like a rabbit on your team, and like they're just kind of, I don't know, they're silly and dumb, but it's also probably going to channel the humor. It seems to go right with the humor of the Mario and Luigi series, like how they're always so funny. And I think that the Rabbids could just only like magnify that in the way that dumb screaming alien Rabbids can.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I'm highly interested in it. I will get it. Mario RPG. I never played the first one. Or I have, but I never beat it or anything. But I Paper Mario pretty much followed that story, and I love Paper Mario 1 and 2. So I'm interested. Especially the humor. I think that would be really funny to have those little guys in there. So we'll see. And then Pokemon Stars. Are we going to get a Pokemon game? Do you think it'll be like how Sun and Moon is on the new 3DS? Or are we going? You think it's actually going to be like whole makeover, like HD console graphics?
So I've been hearing lately that if you remove the black outline in the Sun and Moon, and you upscale it, it looks beautiful in HD graphics. I think there's a couple of videos out there where people have done that, and I think that some of the features that they put on there that they've kind of dumbed down are to enable cross-platform play. And I could see like it's the iteration like Emerald was to Ruby and Sapphire, and like it'll expand the story, and we'll see this HD version of Sun and Moon. Now, I don't like the idea of stars. I like the idea of Eclipse, but stars make sense too. And like if Eclipse is, hey, like they're kind of combined, like they're set like 12 hours apart, Sun and Moon. And so like doing some kind of like weird eclipse thing where it's like day and night at the same time, and like have weird Pokemon that appear or something like because of that. And like it'd be kind of a cool little mechanic, even if they call it stars, if they had some kind of eclipse thing going on. That'd be pretty cool.
That could be the whole story base that you start the game and there's an eclipse and it's like a non-ending eclipse and have something to do with like a legendary Pokemon that you still play the whole regular game. But the story is you got to figure out why this eclipse is happening, and I don't know.
We could go even crazier. Be like, they can finally do that like Pokemon fusion idea. Yeah, they like like the Solgaleo and Lunala like fuse together and create this eclipse Pokemon or something. Could be the start of that kind of fusion. It'd be interesting.
That would be very interesting. I don't know. I mean, I definitely will get it. I usually don't get the third iteration. Like I never got Yellow. I never got Crystal or Emerald. I didn't get those, but now I actually have an incentive. I really feel like to get the third version because it's going to be on a new system and it's going to be highly more upgraded. So I'm really excited about it. That's awesome. I mean, I personally want a remake of Red in that version of that style of game, Red and Blue, but we'll see. So I think that's all the latest Switch rumors. Ryan, I want to get into what have you been playing lately? I mean, I don't know. You've been a busy bee with all this Black Friday deals, and have you been playing any games consistently?
Yeah, actually, for the longest time, that I can remember, I've actually been playing a game consistently and not like jump from one game to the next. I've been playing Pokemon Red version. Like, I don't know if it's this whole like Sun and Moon talk, and I haven't been able to get in on Sun and Moon yet. Like, but I've been enjoying Red version and going through it again. It just makes me remember like some of this is almost alien to me. It's been so long because I haven't played this since I was a kid, and I skipped Fire Red and Leaf Green. So like I'm just kind of relearning everything. Like I just got the Poke Flute and just caught Snorlax, and so I'm kind of in that area. And I love the Lavender Town, everything about it pretty much. So
creepy town.
Yeah. I've got my team going. I've already got my Vileplume all evolved up, and my Gyarados. I still don't have Charizard yet, but I'm working on it.
Oh, okay, so you chose Charmander.
Yep.
That's so cool. I'm still cracking down on Star Fox. It's such a short game. You'd think I'd have it beat by now, but I decided yesterday, because I played it a lot, actually, literally just yesterday, more than I had in a while. And I've decided, I get frustrated. And I understand how people hate the controls. And don't get me wrong, I've said, the game's not that bad. But there are times where I'm like, when an intense part's happening and I'm trying to figure things out, I'll hit the wrong button and I'll transform into the stupid raptor-looking thing. And I'll hit the wrong buttons. And then you can't aim very well because of the specific controls. But what the conclusion I came to yesterday was, yes, the controls is not a game that you can just flop down on the couch, sit back, relax, sip on some little bottle of Coke or water and play the game. This is, you have to focus. And so I decided, after losing like 5 times in a mission, I decided to get on the edge of my seat. I'm going to really hone in and try very hard. And once I did do that, I did beat the mission I was on. But as I did it, I can tell you, like, I experienced what I think Miyamoto was aiming for, because once I beat it and I focused, and I was all honed in on my gamepad, and because that's the like the cockpit, whatever, that you see through, and it allows you to shoot better because there's no real aiming on the TV screen version, vantage point. So as I really focused in on this and I beat the mission, like I sat back and I thought about like, wow, like that was really fun because I experienced the intensity of because you just get in the zone, you get tunnel focus, which is perfect for looking through the gamepad through the eyes of Star Fox of what he's seeing. And when I beat it, it was satisfying, and I was excited. I gave like a fist bump once I beat it. It said mission complete. And I think that's what they were going for. Now, the issue is we live in a microwave society. We've talked about this. This is the issue with gamers today. They don't have patience. No one has patience anymore. If it's not easy and they don't get it, out the door. And I'm sorry, that's the world we live in today. I really hate that because so many people don't take the time to just really give something a full shot. Now, I'm not saying Star Fox deserves Game of the Year. I'm not saying it's the best game ever. It could be better than what it is. And honestly, the controls should be an option. Because for that game to be trying to apparently retell the story of Star Fox 64, it should live up to what Star Fox 64 brought to the table. And I think it definitely had the potential to do it. Maybe they'll re-release it on the Switch, an updated version, and they'll take out them stupid controls that everyone hates. Because they are hard. They are a little stupid. They are hard. But if you can get used to them, you can figure it out. So that's just my rant on that. So I've been playing that. I played Star Fox Guard for the first time of my copy. When you start, it immediately like throws you into the game, and you think, okay, I get this. I know what I'm supposed to do, and like you get completely overran by so many little robots, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just got destroyed because the whole base like security goes off, and the robots win, but really that's actually supposed to happen. They just throw you in the game to make you feel like a failure, and then Slippy shows up, and Team Star Fox shows up to stop the robots from invading, and then Slippy starts to give you a tutorial of how to actually play the game. So then it slowed way down. I only got to play a couple levels of it. I can tell you it is fun, but it's stressful because you got to focus. You're like, your eyeballs are constantly scanning every camera on the screen. You got to switch between each camera, and you got to shoot them down. So it's fun. I think it actually, it's not a multiplayer game, but it really is at the same time, because I think if you have other people watching you on the screen, they'd be like, oh, camera 8, no, 2. I think it could be really fun to have others watch the screen, help you figure it all out. So I like it. I do. I'm glad it was a pack-in. It's not a game that I wouldn't really want to pay for separately. But
it's funny you say that because they have it at GameStop right now. I'm thinking about picking it up. It's like maybe like $3 or something. So
is it like, $3?
It's really cheap, and I'm like, I think I almost want to get it because it's just kind of sitting there, and I kind of want to play it.
Just the Guard version?
Yeah, just a Guard.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, $3 is worth. I would actually say if they were going to charge it separately, I'm surprised it's not like $10 or $15 because there's a lot to it. They did put a lot into it, so go for it. If it's $3, that's a steal.
I'm surprised it isn't on the eShop. It's just like a standalone or whatever.
I don't know if it is or not.
Because it's just, I don't know, it just seems like something is it kind of like a time waster, but it also takes a lot of focus, or?
It reminds me of, did you ever play the game, it's like Super Monkey Fortress or something? It's on the computer. It's basically where you set up these different monkeys in different spots, and it's a balloon game, and all these balloons could try to go through the maze, and your monkeys will shoot at it. It'll start off throwing like a rock at it or something. But then you can upgrade them, and eventually you get all the way up to like Superman monkeys, and they're like, because the blues are constantly coming super, super fast. And you can have like laser gun monkeys, and they're like, I can't remember the name of it, but it's the same concept except for you're stopping robots now. And I don't think your weapons upgrade. The robots are supposed to upgrade in intensity. I think I don't know. I just started it, so I don't know if you can upgrade at all, but that's what it reminds me of. So that's what I've been playing. Other than that, we already beat Fed Force, and I'm really just kind of killing time until Christmas gets here.
So close.
So close. That's when I'm getting sun, and I'll be digging into that immediately. And since I think I'm going to get a new 3DS, hopefully, fingers crossed, I decided to go ahead and throw on Majora's Mask 3DS on there, which I've already beat that game like two or three times now in the past, but I haven't played it updated for the 3DS, so I'm excited to play that. And I haven't asked for it, but I may try to go out and get Kirby Robobot too, because that got a lot of reviews, and I've been intrigued by it since they announced it. But I'm supposed to get Paper Mario Color Splash and hopefully a NES Mini to be playing with. So looking forward to it all. I kind of like the mystery of it to not know if you have it though, because it's so hard to find. Because it'll be exciting to like open it up on Christmas morning if I did get it, and if not, I won't be some ungrateful little punk and make my wife feel bad either. That's not what it's all about. But all right, I think it's time to get into the topic. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So today, Ryan and I are going to be talking about our top 10 list of our personal favorite Nintendo games. Now, we're not doing anything crazy, as in going into deep definition of why we love all these games. We're not going to give a full detail of the games, but we'll talk about them a little bit. But we're just going to go down our list. We're going to go in reverse order. So. If you agree with our list of why these games are the best of the best, let us know. Comment on our stuff. If not, if you disagree, or you have if you had a similar list to ours, let us know. We want to hear from you guys. That's one thing we're trying to do better about is hearing from you guys and having you reach out to us, because we want to connect with you. So. All right, Ryan, I think it's only fair that you start off the list. Give me number 10.
I went on some deliberation on what should and shouldn't make the list, so I shuffled a lot out of 10 spot, and I finally narrowed it down. I don't have it represented anywhere on my list, and I love the series, and so I put on Pokemon Gold version.
Oh, nice.
I chose Gold version over Red version because of how much it expanded on the original experience, like the day and night mechanics, the shinies. I remember going through the game and I beat it, and I'm like, I wonder what's after beat the game or something. And they're like, the only thing this game is missing is it doesn't explore the original like Kanto area. And then lo and behold, after you beat the Elite Four and everything, like, you actually get to go there. And I'm like, yes, that's how you do it, Nintendo. You did it perfectly. This is the most amazing experience I've ever experienced. Like at the time, it was just like the best things. Like Nintendo read my mind, and they did exactly what I hoped for.
And that's all thanks to Mr. Iwata too, because he's the one who did that. Because they were having issues with the game. Did you know that they were having issues getting the game to run right, the mapping and stuff, and then he not only fixed the bugs in the game, but he made it to where you could go back to the old Kanto regions and play through all them too. Wow. Oh my gosh. I think we we're too similar, Ryan. We are, because I chose Pokemon Red for my number 10. That's so ironic that you chose Pokemon, because I love Pokemon. It's in my top 5 franchises for Nintendo, but I don't love every game in the series. It was a franchise I fell out of for a little while and came back into, and now that you said Gold, it kind of makes me feel like I should have said Silver, because Silver was my Pokemon game I got. Because you're right, it actually is almost Red and Blue together with this game. At least the journey of being a Pokemon master. But oh my gosh, yeah, Red. Just what we talked about in our episode a couple episodes back. Go check it out, episode 4, Pokemon episode. But it's when I got this game for Christmas, Pokemon was just so much at its peak. I mean, the card game was rising. The anime was huge. Everyone loved Pokemon. So of course, like when I got this game, it blew me away as a kid. I truly loved it. I was ecstatic. I can remember getting it, opening it, putting it in. I still remember laying on our living room floor and just playing Pokemon Red right there, Christmas Day, in the middle of all of our wrapping paper, because we used to not throw away any of the wrapping paper. The rule was you had to leave it all out until we were done opening all our gifts. I just remember laying right there in it all, just chilling, playing Pokemon Red. Loved it. So that's my number 10. Just good memories, and such a staple to my childhood. I'll go number 9. We'll alternate here. And for the record, everybody, Ryan and I both agree, this is not an easy list. This was hard, okay? Because there are so many good games that I love, and I know that Ryan loved, that I'm sure didn't make the list, but it was hard because it's we do love those games. We had fun playing those games. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, these are the games that I think about, to go back and play today, I would still have just as much fun with it. So my number 9 is Metroid Fusion for the Game Boy Advance. It's my favorite 2D platformer game of the Metroid series. I played it before I played Super, so Super actually didn't start me out on this awesome journey. I mean, I had played the Game Boy game, Metroid 2, because we had that, and I had beaten it shortly before I got this game. But I mean, it's an older Game Boy game, and that game was actually the black sheep of the 2D platformers compared to the other Metroid games. So I just loved this game. I loved the story. I loved the idea of the hunter became the hunted. And not to mention, this game co-released with Metroid Prime. So this was Metroid Mania for me back when I was in 6th grade. I remember getting this CD. It was a DVD. I don't know how the heck I got it. Maybe it came with the Nintendo Power. I don't remember. But it came. I wish I still had it, but it was Metroid. Just it was showing previews and demos of Metroid Prime, because this was the first time the first time Metroid was going to be in a 3D environment, and it showed off the game, and it had a story where it showed off the chronological order of the Metroid series. Back to what we want them to freaking acknowledge Metroid like today, that's what they were doing then. So Metroid Fusion, love it. Good story. Very, very suspenseful. Definitely the first Metroid game that I got into and actually beat after I got it. Because Metroid 2 I got, but I was a little boy. Because actually it was my brother's game. So I was actually, like we talked about in our very first episode, I was scared a lot through that game. I was just a little tiny kid. I was really scared. This game, I was scared, but I actually had the courage to play the game and accomplish it. And you feel so accomplished when you conquer your fears of the SAX and beat that game. So that's my number 9.
My number 9, I went with it. There's a myriad of reasons, and it's a very unique game in that it doesn't. It's the first online multiplayer foray for the series, and that is Dragon Quest IX.
Ooh.
I got the game, and I got it for my wife as well, or my, I guess, girlfriend at the time. And we went to a Dragon Quest IX event they had at the Castleton Square Mall, and I met my good friend now, Jeff, and I think I also went with a couple other people that were with us. It faded from my memory on who all was there because there was a lot of people, and I just it's a game that I can go back and play even now. Like, I'll pick it up and I'll start playing it again, and I'm actually still buying it for my friends. A new friend comes into my life and they hang out around me a lot. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna get you Dragon Quest IX because it's such a good game to play with friends, and it's funny. It's got its great humor, but it's also got so much depth to it, and so much you can do, and so many items you can get. Like, it's just so unlimited to like what you can do. And there's an online, I guess, afterward at Dragon Quest X that never came to the States. Why? But Dragon Quest IX was just this amazing experience where you can connect with your friends and their 3DSs, whether it was online or even like local, and you could just meet up with a bunch of people and play. It was really good. It was just such a good experience, and I'll recommend it to anyone out there. Anyone. To pick it up, to visit this world, and this explorer in these times where games are just local play, they are just, or online play, and it's for handhelds. And you could just edit this part out of the conversation because I'm just kind of rambling.
No, I think I want to leave it on there.
No. Okay. So yeah, I really like it. So
I've never played it actually, and I've been more interested as of recent, especially since they're talking about it coming to the Switch, the next game. So, and I never realized this till Kyle pointed this out to me that's the same. That's the Dragon Ball Z artist. And I'm like, it's funny because I always thought, because like I would see advertisements for it in like the Nintendo Powers and stuff. I'd be like, that guy with the white hair, he looks like Trunks, and I've seen the dragon in the game. Like, that looks exactly like Shenron. What a ripoff. Little did I know that it's the same creator. So
yes, the same artist. It's so awesome.
That's pretty. That's cool. I like that, and I'm highly considering about getting it for the Switch. So we'll see. I haven't played any games in the series. Is it like Final Fantasy in a way?
It is that classic Japanese RPG turn-based style.
Okay.
It is similar to the older Final Fantasy games.
That's what I thought.
I can give it that.
Wasn't it made by Square?
Yes, it was Square Enix. Yes.
There you go.
That's actually what got me into it, was the art style. And that wasn't my first entrance into the series. I played the one for PlayStation 2, Dragon Quest 8. But when I heard that there was one coming out for a Nintendo system and it was portable and you could connect with friends and do all these things, I had to get it. And I haven't regretted it since.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
So the next one on my list, it is a game that is tough as nails. It takes a lot of concentration and split concentration to look between two screens and play both screens at once. But the art style, the wardrobe that you can change into, the pins that you have to pick from, I had to pick number 8 as The World Ends With You for DS. It is such an epic game, and the story just draws you in, and you feel so much emotion, and you feel so much frustration because of how difficult this game is. It's just an epic for what it is. I love that game, and I've purchased it, I think, twice now. And I've also I got the phone game too, which is kind of a easier version of it because you don't have the dual screen. You still have to do like multitask, but like it's so cool to be able to control 2 characters at once, take down bosses, but not only like you controlling like doing special moves, gestures on the touch screen on the bottom, you also have to do like puzzle solving or math or like matching things on the top and moving your character on the top too to dodge enemies. It takes some real skill to be able to separate your mind and focus on 2 screens. And it's just an experience I have never experienced before in anything else.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know you really liked that game that much that it made your top 10 list. I've never played it. See, I guess we're not so much the same, everybody. He's played some games I've never played. So there we go. So that's your number 8. All right. I guess it's my turn. Number 8 is 007 GoldenEye. Why is this game number 8? I'll tell you why. Because this game was one of the very first games I ever got for my Nintendo 64 back in like 1997 or 8, whenever we got it, one of those years. But gosh, man, this game revolutionized first person shooters. This is the definition. If we didn't have this game, you wouldn't have your Halos. You wouldn't have Call of Duty. You know, even Metroid Prime probably wouldn't be how it was. This game set the standard. This was the gold standard. This game was made by my favorite company outside of Nintendo, Rare Games, at least the Rare back then. The music was awesome. The music was phenomenal. The game it was just really fun. And it wasn't like gory and graphic. It was rated T for teen. So, yeah, you shot people, but it was still dumbed down enough to where kids could play it and enjoy it. I liked it. I really – this is a staple into my personal life of gaming that I'll never forget this game. And it'll always be a game that I can go back to today and play it and love it just as if I – got it that morning or that day. Yeah. Great game. That's my number 8. But I'm going to roll right into my number 7. Number 7, this game, I played it with Traven back in the day. My good old, one of my best buds, Traven, on his Super Nintendo. And this game is Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. Fun fact about this game was I actually was exposed to it as a little kid, back around like preschool and kindergarten age. So mid 90s, but I never owned a Super Nintendo. So back when I was a kid, I own it now and I've beaten this game now, but it wasn't until this year where I, actually had this desire, thanks to a podcast that I listened to, where they covered the game, and I was just like, I gotta play this game. And can I just say, Donkey Kong Country 2, I really debated about putting this higher on the list because currently right now, and I didn't put this higher just because of where I am. I played this game pretty much almost the whole year because I have the Game Boy Advance version and I have the Super Nintendo version. And I went and played through this. I started the Game Boy Advance version because I couldn't find the SNES version to play. But then I found the SNES version. I really wanted to beat the SNES version before I beat the Game Boy Advance version, so I've kind of co-played them throughout the year. I actually never have 102%, sorry, beat Donkey Kong Country 2 for the Game Boy Advance, but I did beat it on the SNES, and you 102% it all. That's how they go above and beyond 100%. This game, I loved it because I wanted to try it back out because it makes me go back to, again, the mid-'90s of being a kid when life was simple and the only thing I had to worry about was beating the bad guys in the video games I played. You didn't have to worry about the problems with life. There was no politics. There was no drama. It was just you and your buds, and you got to stop the bad guys. And I miss those days. And it just takes me to just those good old days of just being a kid and when that's all we had to worry about. Like, that was our goals. And it was such a good time. And it was so exciting to wake up Saturday morning and run straight downstairs to the Nintendo, turn it on, and start playing it. I miss those times. And this game, for some reason, holds that memory. It holds all those emotions more than any other game I think I have on this list. And what does that too is the soundtrack. This is the first soundtrack that I actually have that made me want to start writing video game music. I haven't written anything yet, but I do plan on. That's something I want to pursue, and I want to do it. And David Wise, this is an amazing soundtrack. And once again, everybody, this game was made by Rare Games. So that's another reason why it's an amazing game. The songs, and I listen to the soundtrack on my iPod all the time. I mean, I just play it because it's so good, and I'm listening to over my favorite bands right now, and I just can't get away from it. The soundtrack is awesome. Sometimes I don't even want to start levels in the game because I love the background bass music in the hub world. It's so good. But the whole game's great. That's my number 7. And really, I come back in a year and I might have it higher on my list. But I kept it lower just because it's still fresh in my mind and, give it a fair shot. How about you?
These lists are ever evolving, and things even on the top 10 list are switching with each other and popularity based on just. But my number 7 was Super Mario World.
Super Mario World almost made my top 10. Oh, it's not on there. Sorry.
It took me a bit to narrow it down if I wanted to pick, Super Mario Brothers 3 or Super Mario World, and I chose Super Mario World because I love Yoshi. Yeah. I loved the outlined blocks that you had to find the switches in the world to fill them in. I love that mechanic. The ever-changing landscape when you beat certain levels, how everything just kind of peeled away. Like, if I beat this level, where am I going to go? I'm going to run into like a mountain or something. And it opens up new paths when you beat the levels, and then you go to fight different, like the castle bosses, and the castle does different things. It gets blown up. It gets hit by a hammer and crumbles. One gets launched into the sky and hits a far off hill. And there's like a bandage on its head where it got hit. And like just that ever changing landscape. And then finding out the secret world after the Star Road. And then I finally beat Star Road and got onto this even harder levels. And it was just like, it was so cool. And like Purple Yoshi. Yeah. Favorite Yoshi.
Yeah, that's a great game. That's another game I have really near and dear to my heart with Traven. Almost made my top 10, but just didn't crack the list. But again, like I said, that's why this is so hard because I love that game too.
All right, let's move on to the number 5.
Oh, you're on number 6, dude.
Just kidding. Yeah, my number 6. I chose it because I have sunk thousands and thousands of hours into it with friends, by myself, collecting all the trophies, unlocking all the characters, playing competitions. Super Smash Bros. Melee. It is such a large part of my growing up. The competitive scene. I've won tournaments and gotten so much cool Nintendo swag. I love it. I love it, and they keep making more. But Melee just really sits as my favorite. It was on. I was the tightest with the controls. Like Fox was my character. Like for a while there, I was doing starting out. I was like Ice Climbers. I was pretty good with them, but then I found Fox, and I never looked back. Like I can't even play Ice Climbers anymore because of how smooth like Fox was for me. Like I said, I won tournaments because of it, and the experiences I had with that back Game Crazy and Midnight Madness, like that was just the best thing. Like it's given me so many memories. I couldn't leave it off the list.
Not a bad choice, man. All right. My number 6. All right. Okay. My number 6 goes also back to the N64. When we got our N64, we got GoldenEye, yes. But that's not the only game we got. We got Diddy Kong Racing. Diddy Kong Racing is by far the franchise Nintendo should have left that Mario Kart trash in the trash. They should have kept it in the past. And I know a lot of people are going to hate me. A lot of people are going to hate me for it, but you only hate me because you don't know the truth of how good this game was. You need to go back and get a Nintendo 64 and appreciate the N64 for its time. Okay, don't say, oh, this is garbage. This ain't current stuff. No. Diddy Kong Racing is 1,000 times better than Mario Kart. I can't even stress it, okay? I want a new Diddy Kart Racing game so much. This game broke the World Guinness Book records back when it came out, okay? This game was huge. It came out, and it wasn't even advertised. It was supposed to come out. It was just a game that Rare, once again, everybody, Rare Games was working on, but it wasn't it was something that was planned, of course, but it came out sooner than expected. It was a game that was not advertised up front because Banjo-Kazooie, the big game from Rare that was supposed to come out that winter, and it didn't happen. It was like they needed to work on some stuff with it. So, but Nintendo's like, fine, but you have to put a game in its place. So they're like, well, we had this idea, and they put Diddy Kong Racing together. It's an awesome game. Once again, David Wise, the guy who did the soundtrack for the Donkey Kong Country series, did the soundtrack for this game. I can't tell you. Every time Christmas time comes around, because we are recording this in November, but it will air December 1st, I think of Diddy Kong Racing. That is the music that comes to my head when I think of Christmas and video games. Diddy Kong Racing, man, this game is light years better than Mario Kart. And I really hope on the Switch it gets a revival because it needs it. They did not do it justice. They did some hand-me-down remake version for the DS, which did terrible. It wasn't even anywhere close to what the original experience was. This game, not only did it have racing, it was the first game to introduce other mechanics other than a cart. You had a cart, you have a hovercraft, or like a hoverboat, yeah, and an airplane. Mario Kart has just now, within the past recent games, started to add other features besides carts. Diddy Kong Racing did it way back in the late 1990s, everybody. Diddy Kong Racing, also, what I think is my favorite part about the game was that it was a story. It was story-driven. It wasn't just, let's race. You're playing in adventure mode through racing. So you had after you beat a bunch of tracks, there were boss battles where you had to race a boss. And that was awesome. You know, you couldn't select these bosses to race as in versus mode. These guys were just for adventure mode. And after, it wasn't you just play through it and then you beat the boss. No, not only was that the case, you had to go back and then you had to learn how to replay the levels again, but you had to collect 8 silver coins. So you had to collect all these coins and then get first place and then go back and play the boss again and collect coins and beat that boss. This game is so challenging and it was so fun. It adds, like, I get bored with Mario Kart. I do, because we got Mario Kart 8 and I played it for a month or two, but when you got no one to play with, and I know there's online features, but I didn't really. I don't. It's just not as fun. And at least Diddy Kong Racing kept me at my attention to play by myself if I needed to. So love it, love it, love it. Go get it, Nintendo. Please bring this back for the Switch, please. That's my number 6. Is it my turn to go to number 5, or have you?
Roll on in.
Number 5, Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Okay, Zelda is my top 3 franchises. But when I have to boil all down, Wind Waker was not my first Zelda game. Wasn't even the first Zelda game I beat. But I love this game. I have so many memories on the GameCube playing this game. Is what we stated in the GameCube episode. The Wind Waker, it just has this special charm to it. It's really beautiful. The music, once again, is great. Well, I think what I really loved about this game was this is the game to where I actually fell in love with Zelda. Okay, because I had seen Ocarina of Time and I had Majora's Mask and I beat it, but this was the game that because before it came out, they re-released the collector's edition for the GameCube of the old game. So I got to go back and replay Ocarina of Time. Well, I got to beat it for the first time because I beat it on the GameCube. I never had it for the 64. So when that happened, I remember just wanting more. And at the end of the game, Ganondorf says he'll be back, one day this curse will be broken, whatever. I don't know exactly what he says. So basically the primer says that he's going to come back one day once the seal is broken. And that's what the Wind Waker was. Before we knew about this crazy timeline, this is this direct sequel from the hero timeline when you are successful. So it talks about how he did come back, but the hero is no longer there. He was gone. And then the goddesses flood the whole world of Hyrule, and that's what intrigued me. That's when I really started to pay attention to stories in games. It was like, oh man, the way these games connect. That's the same Ganondorf, just hundreds of years into the future that you played in Ocarina of Time, and to me that blew me away. That's really what caught me in. That's really what pulled me in. So the music, the art style is classic. Everyone hated it at first. Guess what? Now they love it. And then guess what? On the Wii U, they re-released it in HD, which was like 1,000 times more beautiful to go back and play. Great game. That's my number 5. How about you?
My number 5 is a group of games. I couldn't narrow down it all into one particular game. I couldn't pick one of the series. And so I kind of lumped them all together, and that is the Metroid Prime series. The initial Metroid Prime throws you into this world of beauty and music and just mystery and wonder, and you still have that. It captures that mystery of exploration, and you can scan everything and find out so much about the lore, and just it's such a great entry into that series. And then it's expanded, of course, with 2 and 3, each getting progressively intricate, and even adding my favorite, with the screw attack and space jump and what have you. It was so cool to finally have those in the Shine Spark, to have those in that 3D environment. Each kept on building. There was a pinball version. I love pinball games.
Yeah,
so
I remember that.
Metroid Prime Pinball with the Rumble Pack, that was so cool. And then my favorite multiplayer experience, first-person shooter multiplayer experience, was Metroid Prime Hunters. The online, the different types of characters that you can be and transform into the different forms. And it really felt great to me. I loved that online. And then, of course, just Federation Force now with the connectivity where you can connect with friends and play together going through missions. If you could take all of that and crunch it into a game, that is the next Metroid game in HD. Like, please, please, I want that so badly.
Not a remake either. A brand new game in the series.
Yeah, so just take all these great things that you've put in different games and just mash them all together into this beautiful HD masterpiece. I'm not asking too much, am I?
I don't think so. It's about time they give us something really good for Metroid.
So I'll roll right into my number 4, and it is another entry into the Mario series, Super Mario 64.
Woo!
This game, we've talked about it, and it has changed. It defined much of gaming, platforming, 3D platforming. Like, it is such a great game. Like, I could spend hours and hours and hours going over it, but just being in that world, being able to explore and jumping into portraits, whisking away to far off lands, and learning how to take down enemies, fighting bosses. It's that first experience into that world that just opened up a whole other world of possibilities. Like 64 and Super Mario 64, just the system in the game just really jettisoned me into a new understanding in life. And so I had to make that like one of my top 4 games.
Wow. That's sad that you put that at number 4. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, you got better?
I do have better. My list is superior to yours because, my number 4 is the game you just talked about, Metroid Prime. So it's one up on you. And I actually thought the exact same thing you did. Like, I love all those games, all the Prime games. I mean, they're really a series, and essentially they're the same thing. Prime 1, Prime 2, Prime 3. More different features get added, but Prime 1 started it all, so I'm going to go with Prime, Metroid Prime. This game, I mean, the Metroid series ushered in that new generation for Nintendo. Starting in the middle of the GameCube life, but if you remember on the DS, that's what you said, Hunters. You know, the demo that I got that I still have when I got my DS it came with Metroid Prime Hunters, the demo, and it ushered in the new handheld line. And it even launched with the Wii, I believe. Is there a Corruption launch with Wii? It was a launch game, wasn't it? Or did it come a couple months after?
You got me there. I don't remember.
Well, you played the demo at that concert because that's when they were going out trying to advertise. So it was in development at least. Okay,
so maybe even the controls were different because I was playing on the Wii. That might have made that moment even more special. Like, now that I think back, I think so. I think it might have been a launch title or close to it.
I think it didn't come out because I know I didn't get it for Christmas because I got it, the Wii, Christmas. But I got Twilight Princess with it. I do remember that. But I want to say I got Corruption the Christmas after, but I think it came out somewhere in between on that year because, I'll wait to get games like that.
Yeah.
But, the Prime series just ushered. It came in the middle of a struggling GameCube. But that was really one of the biggest highlights in the GameCube was Prime. And then it helped usher in the life on the DS with Metroid Prime Hunters. And even your pinball game was on the DS, which was a cool idea to experiment by playing pinball virtually right there in the Metroid Prime universe. But no Metroid Prime, the music was great. The atmosphere was beautiful. We got to see Metroid for the first time in like a living, breathing 3D world, something we always wanted as Metroid fans. And the Metroid series is definitely my top 3 franchises of all time for Nintendo. I love Metroid, and I really hope that I hope to God so much that there is a Metroid game in the works right now that Nintendo will tell us at the Switch reveal. I mean, fans want it. Fans desperately want it. So that's on my wish list there too. But Metroid Prime, phenomenal game, love it. That's my number 4. Now my number 3. Another reason why my list is a little better than yours was you had this game way low on your. I was shocked. It's low on your list here. Super Smash Brothers Melee, man. Super Smash Brothers Melee. Why is this so low on your list? I mean, you talked about winning tournaments with Star Fox. I also remember you. I specifically remember you losing a tournament with Star Fox. Maybe that's why it's so low. Because that's right. You lost to me in the final round at a tournament at Game Crazy. I remember that. I remember we were on your home court. We were on the Great Fox, and you try to do a little dash move at me. I remember this like it happened just today, by the way. And I did my up B spin move on the ground, and you smacked right into me. Just over. It came down. I'll give you credit. It came down to like each of us having a final life. But that's because I wanted to not hurt your feelings and crush you. So, but no, Smash Bros. Melee. Come on. I mean, this is the reason. Yeah, we had the 64 version, which was a phenomenal version. It really was good, But when you have to think about them, this one's better. This is I hear podcasts. I heard podcasts today say, "Oh, Smash Bros. For the Wii U is the best game in the city." No, it's not. It is not the best game. I don't care that you have like 50, 100 characters in the game. It's not the best. Melee is the best. Melee was perfect. Melee, like you said, you sunk right in with it, with the controls. Like I felt Link was my character. Going into 64, I was all about Donkey Kong, and then I tried that on Melee, and it just wasn't working. And then I was getting into Zelda because of the stuff, the collector's edition that we had gotten, and then Wind Waker, and I started to play with Link, and I still play with Link to this day. He is my best character, and Toon Link is my second best character. But this game's awesome. We talked about it, the GameCube episode number 2. This game is boss. I mean, that's one of the biggest and best games and most sought after games from the GameCube era, still to this day. And many people still play that game in tournament wise over the current games. Now, I'm not saying the current games suck or anything, but Melee, it defined that whole console, and it added on to what the first one didn't have. It had more characters. It had more levels. It had the graphics from a 64 to the GameCube. They were drastically better. I mean, you went from polygonal shapes to just looking like a full 3D cartoon. You know what I'm saying? Like it looked way better. It's just way more polished, way more beautiful to it. Bigger, better game, more features to it. It actually had a one-player mode campaign. The game wasn't broken like today's. A good one. I'm talking a good one-player mode. Not the little jump around the Mario Party board that they have today. So yeah, Melee number 3, awesome game. Go get it, kids.
All right, so moving on to number 2.
What's your number 3?
All right,
your 3 and number 2.
I want to jump into 2. I want to skip 3 because
what?
I almost think that it should be higher on my list, and I feel like if I announce it, that it's going to just be looked down upon. Like I put it on 3 and not like higher, but
like the rest of your list.
Okay. Hey,
well, you had to swap it out with whatever one you're going to put it as. So
let me just say, one of my major criteria in creating this list was what games do I sit down every year and play again. And those deserve to be on my top list, like the top of my list. And so this is number 3 on that list, and that is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
I feel like some people would shame me for not putting it on like 1 or 2, but it's always set comfortably at my level at my number 3. It's an experience. I got emotionally involved into it. I delved so deep. Sunk countless hours into the game. I showed it off to my friends. Like that was a game that I would take to parties and I would just play through the end and beat it so everyone could see this awesome cinematic thing that I see every time I play it. And that experience, escaping the castle after it's falling apart because Ganon's power isn't holding it together anymore, and showing people what happens when you whack a chicken a couple times. Those poor birds.
Yeah, those poor birds.
It was a 3D experience, and just as much as Super Mario 64 defined the 3D platformer, I feel like Legend of Zelda really defined that 3D exploration, 3D fantasy world that it set precedent, like the story and everything. It has reached the top of like best games of all time lists, and to not include this in here would be just insanity. So, where is Ocarina of Time on your list?
It's not on my list. I'm not ashamed of it either. It's not on my list, bud. That was your number 3?
Yes.
What's your number 2?
Again, this is my criteria. I chose games that I will play over and over and over again. I'll play at least once a year. And Tales of Symphonia is my second.
Tales of Symphonia.
Yeah, I play it so much. I play it once every year. Every once in a while.
It's not on Nintendo anymore.
It's still on GameCube, thank you.
It should still be with Nintendo.
Hey, they had 2. If you can count the second one, they had 2 installments of the game. But yes, Tales of Symphonia. It was a game that came with 2 discs, and that alone was just like, this game is 2 discs long. When I got it, I was just so impressed, and just getting immersed in that world. The music, of course, like music is also a big thing that draws me in, and like stuff that gets stuck in my head, and I'll be like driving and wait, why is that stuck in my head? It makes me want to play the game again. And I did go and get the collector's edition. I didn't for the PS3. I didn't even own the system, but I pre-ordered the collector's edition and picked it up with the figures and everything because I loved that game so much that I was willing to go on another console and buy a game from it. I didn't even own the console just to have the collector's items from that series.
I can understand that.
It's an RPG that drew me in like no other, and it wasn't because it has very light multiplayer, but the story and the epic length. I think the 2 parts I didn't even see. Like I'm wrapping up the game, I can't even see how there could be another disc, and then the story just kind of explodes, and you find out this huge plot twist, and suddenly you're on the second disc, and it's almost like you're on a second world going to this disc. And then it really grips you and it draws you in, and you can get immersed in that story. And it's one worth telling to your friends. Like I find myself like, hey, this is what happens. And like, wait, you might actually want to play this game. So maybe I shouldn't spoil everything.
There you go. Tales of Symphonia, number 2. All right. My number 2 is Super Mario 64. The reason I didn't put like Mario World or Mario Bros. 3, which are great games, was I felt like, even though I know I had 2 of Metroid on there, but Super Mario 64 is the cream of the crop when it comes to Mario, in my opinion. And we talked about this in our very first episode. If you haven't heard, go check it out. It's a good episode. Mario 64 is set the standard for 2D platforming. This came out with the 64. I never owned it until later on. I borrowed it from Brad, and I beat his copy of it, and we played it together. I just have many memories with playing this with one of my best friends. Again, it's just another game that takes you away from life and gives you something special to think about when you think back in the good old days. I love Mario 64, the music, the game, the story, the mechanics of fighting Bowser. The best of any Mario game out there. I will stand by that. It's better than Mario Galaxy. Every Galaxy lovers out there, it is 100% better than Galaxy, and that's why I want the Switch version of Mario to so much be like this game. And from what everyone's speculating, hopefully they're right. It sounds like it's going in the ways that Super Mario 64 went after. So, all right, it's time for my number one. My number one pick is Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie is the best game that ever has existed on the face of planet Earth. And this is why I have such a hard time and get really sad. And it's bittersweet because this game, Banjo used to be an IP with Nintendo. Banjo-Kazooie was a Nintendo IP made by yours truly, Rare Games, back in the day. Banjo-Kazooie was just as popular as Mario. He got the stardom treatment by Nintendo. He was having advertised Nintendo Powers. They made little dolls for him. They made Christmas ornaments for him. I mean, he was getting the same treatment as Donkey Kong. I mean, because he was owned by Nintendo. Well, guess what? Big bad Xbox, the rich kid on the block, came around and they decided to buy out Rare Games. Made an offer that Nintendo just couldn't match. And now they're owned by Microsoft. And when you said, with Tales of Symphonia, that you bought the game for PS3 because even though you didn't own a PS3, if they would actually release a decent, good Banjo-Kazooie game, not nuts and bolts, something that actually continued with the main story of the game, it was just like the first two, I would buy it. I'm not going to buy an Xbox, but I would buy the game. Absolutely. Just because I support Rare and I want to see them succeed. But man, this game, the music, Grant Kirkhope, same guy who did 007, phenomenal. The music is magical. The game is magical. I've heard it is told as it's a broken fairy tale. The game has a lot of humor. A bird out from the country lands, and this kind of resonates with me because I grew up on a farm. I mean, I'm not a big country boy, but I grew up in a farm. My high school was out in the middle of a cornfield. So it just kind of feels like home to me. It's a game I didn't own. Brad owned it. I borrowed it from Brad. We went to the same school. He lived down the street and around the corner from me. I played it with him. I think I borrowed it and beat it, and then we also beat it together. But I own it now. It's a game that I will go back to and I will play every year, like you, with your games. And this game, Mario 64, set the standard for 3D platforming, but Banjo-Kazooie took it to the next level. Just like Diddy Kong Racing took Mario Kart to the next level. I will stand by Banjo-Kazooie as that's my favorite franchise. And it's fragmented because it's now owned by Microsoft because they bought out Rare and they don't even do anything with it. And when they did do something with it, they screwed it up. So, he's my number one franchise of all time, but he's not with Nintendo anymore. So I'm not going to prioritize him over, Mario, Zelda, Metroid, and Donkey Kong. But that's why I'm really excited for Yooka-Laylee. Playtonic Games. If people don't know, that's basic. A bunch of the old Rare team, not every single one of them left Rare, but it's a group of people who worked on these core games of Donkey Kong Country, Banjo-Kazooie, 007. They are making Yooka-Laylee, and it's the spiritual successor to the game. And if I said it this week, because they're working hard on the Wii U version specifically, they're working in-house on Wii U version to make it really good. If the Switch comes out the same day that Yooka-Laylee comes out, I'll buy the Switch, but I'm not going to play it until I played Yooka-Laylee on my Wii U because that's how bad I want this game. That's my number one. We can end the show here because yours is not going to beat mine. Unless it's Banjo-Kazooie, then we're good.
I can say that there is no rare game on my list. So I'm sorry to disappoint you.
No wonder your list is bad. Well, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 games on my list, and I'll even put 4.4 and a fourth because Rare did some stuff on Super Smash Bros. Melee as well before they got bought out. Wow, what a sad list, Ryan. But okay, go ahead. I'll let you tell everyone because I guess not every mold's the same. You might be reaching out to some people out there too who like Tales of Symphonia and these other games that aren't made by Rare.
Whereas I may play Tales of Symphonia or Ocarina of Time or Super Mario 64 once a year, it doesn't compare or hold a candle to how many times I've played Super Metroid. I play it at least 10 times a year. I go through speed runs. I try taking my time. I collect all the items. I try doing all of that in one go. I love this game inside and out. The fact that I now have it on my 3DS is a really, really bad thing because now I can play it on the go.
Pixel perfect mode, baby.
That is going to be my all-time favorite game forever. I mark my words. It will always be my favorite one. I can't imagine them ever topping this. If they come out with a 2.5D, it's not going to top Super Metroid. That is the game that I grew up on. I was so emotionally invested in. The wonder, the countless hours I thought about this game. Where are these things hidden? Where's this item that I'm missing? I'm missing one item, in the whole game, one missile expansion. Where is it? And it took me so long to beat it and complete everything for it. This game is... there are no words. This is the best. There are no words. This is... I don't care what you think. Super Metroid is the best to me.
Hey, you know what? That's not a bad choice. Super Metroid is a great game. Like we both pretty clearly established, Metroid is definitely in our top 3. And it's time. It's time for a Metroid game of the caliber of the Prime series, Fusion, and Super. So I can't complain about that. Not a bad list, Ryan. You had a lot of the same games I had, just in the wrong order of stuff. So, not a bad list at all, though. I'll give you that. It was good. You threw some curveballs in there. You threw some Tales of Symphonia, Dragon Quest, and I don't even remember your DS. What was your DS one?
The World Ends With You.
The World Ends With You. There you go. Well, everyone, that's our list. I hope you liked it. I know this episode is pretty long. It's like an hour and a half now. Dang. I think we should probably close it out, Ryan. Why don't you do our due diligence, tell everyone where they can find us?
Sure thing, man. You can find us on SoundCloud and iTunes. Hopefully you're listening to us on there. If you aren't listening to us on there, listen to us on there. And if you are listening to us on something other than SoundCloud and iTunes, let us know how you're doing it. We would like to know. Follow us on Facebook. Seriously, that's where our conversations are going to be starting and our news articles are going to be circulating. Of course, jump on our Twitter. We're posting all kinds of updates, all the rumors, the sales. We're trying to keep it all going, giving it direct to you. So please follow us on our Twitter at Nintendo_NOS. That's Nintendo_NOS. And if you'd like to shoot us an email, get in contact with us. Just go the old classic Nintendo Nostalgia IN at gmail.com. Hey, just communicate with us. We want to hear your stories. We want to share your stories like we share ours. We want to hear your favorites lists. Please like us. Jump in the conversation with us. We want to hear from you, your experiences. And also, we want to hear your ideas. If you have some Switch ideas, some things that you think they should do, let us know. Let us know what you think Nintendo might do in the future for your beloved games. We want to hear from you. And with that, I wish you all good night. Jacob?
Everyone, have a great night, and we will see you in the month of December. Bye.
Later.